I'm not sure if this video will be much of a direct, learning piece, but I know that this would be more of a sharing piece. And yeah, this is just something that's been on my mind. I haven't been posting any videos for the past couple days because, this particular thing has just been on my mind. And I feel it's something that keeps repeating in my mind. And it's like I don't want to make any other videos until I kind of move past this one piece that's been alive for me lately. And that's just basically to do with my relationship to my family and how I feel, I guess, a bit more alone. Yeah, so since my last video, which was about masculine and feminine, I spoke quite passionately about it because the stuff I covered in it was stuff I learned within my own experience and was the stuff that I needed to hear if I was speaking to myself, to a younger version of me. And my family watched that video, my brother and my mother especially, and they came to me saying that in that video I sounded very almost like too authoritative on the subject, and I guess too as if I'm an expert, which I'm not. But and I guess it may come off as that way of just like sounding like too big for my shoes or whatever it may be. But it's like I genuinely felt strong about what I spoke about in that video. And it's something that I felt quite passionate towards, and the feedback that I got was that I'm trying to remember the exact wording, but it's almost like trying to pose as an expert, essentially. Not their exact words, but basically the sentiment. And it's like, on what legs do I have to stand on to say such things to such people? And, is this actually truth? And from my understanding, yes. Although in hearing that, it was just kind of like, ah, shit, am I speaking out too much? Am I, being too direct or whatever? Am I being too much? And basically, it's like I listened to what he said and what they said, and it's like at the same time, it's like I'm trying to still figure out my voice in the public sphere, and expressing and speaking out on these videos, and trying to figure out how it is that I speak, my tonality, the way that I use my energy in videos and stuff like that. And so maybe I can come across as a bit of a dickhead or something like that, or as very authoritative. I guess so. Possibly. Yeah. And at the same time, my brother also commented that it's basically, he reflected back to me that this could be coming from a place of shadow, in the sense that it could be a thing of all right, maybe that this is a part of you that just wants, I guess, a control over others. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but possibly, and it's just like, I felt pretty bummed out about it, because it was like, all right, I can see kind of where he's right about it in a certain way, but then it's also like, I'm just fucking around and finding out, just trying to figure out my shit. And yeah, there was more conversations about, you know, our past and everything like that. And just like, yeah, it's like, there was a point where he mentioned that if I wasn't his brother, I would be the kind of person that he would not want to be around, and that he would actively stay away from. And upon hearing that, I felt honestly pretty gutted, because it was in that moment where I kind of realized, like, oh shit, like I spent all this time, I guess, pedestalizing my brother. And my brother is like 6 years younger than me. He's like 21 this year. I'm 27. And it just feels like shit. Really. Fuck, I don't know how to put this. It kind of felt, because what he was talking about was like this, because my family, they know the old version of me that I'm like basically working to grow out of. The old version of me was very isolated, very timid, didn't really speak up about anything, wasn't really sociable, was very socially awkward and just weird, and just like he mentioned like that I had fucking school shooter vibes, and it's like, yeah, I would agree with that, because I was a fucking weirdo like back in the day, because I just didn't know how to be a sociable person, just didn't know how to, you know, be quote unquote normal, right? And these days it's a lot better. And you know, I'll probably do a video talking more about like my story later on, but yeah, I was a very different person. And like coming from that and trying to expand into this new self that's like on video and talking and, you know, being very public and everything, I guess it's a bit of a shift as well for both myself and my family, in them having known for so many years, like over 20 years, over like, I'd say 25 years, a person that was like that was just very quiet and just like shut in and, you know, very quiet and everything like that, to now a person that's has changed the way that they speak, changed how they move, changed how they think, changed how they, you know, do everything. And this is like a change that I desire within myself, just to be a, you know, a bigger version of myself. And I guess for them it just also seems a bit uncomfortable to see this version of Daniel that they, I guess, I'm not that familiar with. And it's like, well, I can see, you know, where it may feel uncomfortable for them, I guess, but also like I can see as well, it's like in his comment of, you know, you've been the person that if you weren't my brother I would actively stay away from. Like, looking back at myself of how I was, like, yeah, I would say the same thing about me. Like, I wouldn't want to be around me either, right? Because I was a real fucking weird kid. And yeah, but it does hurt. It does honestly hurt, and it has been kind of like reeling in my mind for a while now. And what it feels like almost is that, so for a little bit of context, it's like my relationship with my entire family has been kind of not the best. It's been like strained, and the one guy that I guess had the closest ties to would be my brother, and I kind of like pedestalized him in a way of seeing how he developed as a person, as a man, where he hit a lot of like milestones that, you know, like at a very early age that I hit a lot later. Like I felt like I was behind him in a way of like just seeing his mental maturity and you know, his ambition towards life and everything. You know, I saw that and I guess I was quite jealous of him in a way, in just seeing that like, oh, he was, because I was also very, very like fat as well, just like fat and just like slovenly, and I saw him as like this is gonna sound stupid, but it's like I basically saw him as like having all the good aspects, like the good genes, and I got like the shit ones, like where I'm just fat, slow, and stupid. And I saw him as like, you know, and I understand this is complete pedestalizing. It's like, you know, he was fitter, he was more attractive, he was way more charismatic, you know, capable of talking to people, being very sociable, and yeah, just learned a lot of the things that I learned